So I've already made a couple of videos on the iPad Air 4 and I absolutely love that iPad, but it is by no means a budget device. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the iPad 8. So there are a lot of iPad variants today. There's the iPad Pro, the iPad Air, the Mini, and the iPad. And the iPad is the most cost-effective one. But just because something is budget-friendly doesn't mean that it's bad. And that's why I think that the iPad 8 is the best budget computer/tablet on the market right now. And yes, iPads are just as capable as computers now thanks to iPad OS. But first things first, let's talk about the design. So nothing new here. This is your standard Apple design with the big bezels on the top and bottom. So you have the camera up top and the physical home button and Touch ID at the bottom. You have a lightning port with dual speakers, nice curved edges with a smart connector on the side. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack and the camera on the back. So again, nothing new here. This is pretty much identical to last year's iPad 7. The biggest and most substantial change to the iPad 8 is the processor. It now has the A12 together with 3GB of RAM, which is said to be much faster compared to last year's A10. But we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Let's talk about the display. So you get a 10.2-inch Retina display, which is great because it's big enough for you to draw on, to write notes on, and just watch media on. It has a 2160 by 1620 pixel resolution, so nothing crazy about that, pretty standard, but it's going to be perfect for scrolling social media. It's going to be perfect for watching Netflix and YouTube. Also take note that this isn't a laminated display, so you'll be able to see some sort of gap at the edge of the LCD, so there's that. It has a refresh rate of 60 Hz, which is also pretty standard, and it has the exact same refresh rate as the more expensive iPad Air 4, so no problems there. Your transitions will still be quick and smooth. The iPad 8 also supports the first gen Apple Pencil, so you'll be able to write notes and draw as much as you'd like, and the functionality that you get with this is amazing for the price. Now let's talk performance. As I said earlier, the biggest and most substantial change to the iPad 8 is the processor. So this now has Apple's A12 Bionic together with 3GB of RAM and is said to be 40% faster compared to last year's A10. Now it's not going to be super crazy like the new A14 found on the iPad Air 4, but the A12 will be able to do everything you need it to do and more. Now the question is, who is this iPad for? And the best answer to that would probably be students, especially with where we are in life right now, where almost every student is studying from home. Everybody needs their own device to be able to study and work on, and I think the iPad 8 is the best device to do that on. Now another question might be, why can't I just get a budget Windows laptop? The thing is, Apple is just amazing at making their silicon chips, and even if you're getting the most cost-effective Apple device out there, the performance you're getting is still amazing. Together with the iPad OS, you'll be able to use this as an actual computer with files. You'll be able to access, hard drives and USBs. You'll be able to multitask much better. And not to mention that there are already so many apps made just for the iPad, like LumaFusion for video editing, Lightroom for photo editing, Procreate for drawing, Notability for note-taking. There are just so many amazing apps out there curated just for the iPad. So the performance you're getting off of the iPad will be much, much better compared to budget Windows laptops. So yes, you will be able to do everything you want to do, from doing your assignments and attending class and playing games and doing some creative work, whether it's photo or video editing or drawing. It's just amazing, and the price that you have to pay to be able to do all of that is just so good. Now that we're done talking about the more important parts, let's just talk about the iPad altogether. Okay, so again, standard iPad, you have the camera on top. So this is a 1.2 megapixel camera. So this isn't the best camera, obviously, but it still gets the job done. You'll be able to log in and attend your class with your face. On the bottom, you have Touch ID, which we're all familiar with. Very fast, very snappy, and reliable. And on the bottom, you have the lightning port. So this is standard iPad stuff. This is the thing that I probably can't overlook, but I'm pretty sure some people will not care whether or not they have USB-C. You have dual speakers, so not great because it's not, you know, balanced when you're holding it, but either way it gets the job done. And if you don't like the speakers, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you'll be able to just plug in your earphones or your earbuds. And the camera on the back is an 8-megapixel camera, so also not that great, but we'll be able to do what you need it to do. Whether you want to take photos of your documents and all of that, it will be able to do that just fine. And the next thing we're going to be talking about is storage and pricing. This is kind of tough because this starts at 32 gigabytes, and 32 gigabytes in 2021 is just not gonna cut it. Maybe if you just want to use it for streaming YouTube and Netflix and just really basic school stuff, but 32 gigs is just really small, and software updates will just eat that up. So I recommend you getting the 128 gigabytes right off the bat, even though it's $100 more expensive, or here in the Philippines 5,000 pesos more expensive. It's just gonna help out so much in the long run because you cannot change the storage once you get it. So yeah, price wise, I even at 25,000 pesos or $429, I still think that this has so much value for that price point. Add an Apple Pencil and it will still be cheaper than the baseline iPad Air 4. It's 64 gigs, so you'll have an Apple Pencil and you'll have 64 gigabytes more storage, and yeah, it will be able to do everything that you need it to do anyway. So let's talk about the things that I don't like about the iPad 8, and that's just the design. I mean, it's super outdated. I had an iPad mini back in 2014 and it looks exactly like this. So in 2021, this is a very outdated design. And one thing, again, is the lightning port. I'm a big fan of USB-C. I'm like USB-C everything at this point, and having like another thing, just another cable to charge this iPad specifically, sucks for me, at least. Like, maybe some people are able to overlook that, but yeah, again, we're talking about the price point here. So at this price point, I get it that it doesn't have USB-C. So at the end of the day, this is going to be an absolutely amazing device for just standard stuff and a little creative stuff. So you'll be able to do everything you want and more. So yeah, that's pretty much that for this video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.